Here's how billionaires save millions of dollars on their taxes every year through real estate. Did you give the IRS more of your hard-earned money last year than you thought you should? Well, let's discuss some of the ways you can limit your tax liability. You can in fact be like the billionaires in this country and limit your taxes by buying real estate. You can do the exact same strategies as President Donald Trump, who released his tax returns and paid no taxes on millions of dollars in income. We have the professionals here advising us at Team Borham. We work with some of the best CPAs and tax attorneys on the planet to limit tax liability, and we can share some of the base knowledge with you and then connect you with the right professional to ensure that you have the tax saving strategies in place that make sense for you and your specific situation. So let's start with the basics. When you buy a rental property, right now in the current tax code for 2024, you can deduct immediately up to 80% of the money you spend rehabbing that property. That does scale down next year to 60%, then 40%, then 20%. It's gonna sunset. We can take advantage of that tax code cheat right now on the rehab costs of buying that investment property. In fact, any closing costs that you spend money on buying that property are potential tax deductions. Now, once you own that dwelling and it is rent ready, you have to subtract the amount of value for the land on that property, but the dwelling itself, the tax code's so simple. It is a 27.5-year tax deduction system. So let's just say you bought a rental property for $400,000 and they say that the land is worth $100,000. Well, that means you have $300,000 worth of property to depreciate over 27.5 years. That could save you now over $10,000 in your income that you're paying taxes on. Now that is deferred income taxes, meaning you will pay when you sell the property, but for now, you can let your money grow more rapidly without paying the taxes. How cool is that? Because isn't that what we all want? To just allow our money to grow and, maybe use the mortgage pay down to actually pay your tax bill when you sell the property. Now, what's so awesome about our tax code is even after you've received all these tax benefits and you want to sell the property, you may not have to pay taxes even when you sell, because there's something called a 1031 exchange, where you can hire an exchange intermediary to handle the funds after you close on that transaction. And as long as you use those funds to buy another like property or like investment, you may not have to pay taxes even when you sell. 1031s are the gift that keeps on giving, because what those billionaires do is they never actually sell the asset to pay taxes. They're gonna keep it till, frankly, they die. And there's ways with their tax accountants and their attorneys to have cost basis step-ups so that when their family inherits the property, they might not even owe any taxes on the gains at that point. How cool is that? Set your family up for success. That is called a legacy. So we've been spending time talking about investment properties. There's also some amazing tax benefits to owning your primary residence. You see, if you're a single individual and you buy a property and it appreciates, as long as you've lived in it for over 2 years as your primary residence, you may qualify for up to $250,000 in capital gains tax protection when you sell your primary residence. Now, if you're married, that benefit doubles to $500,000. So again, as long as you've lived in it as your primary residence for at least 2 years, you could be saving on up to $500,000 in capital gains taxes if you are married. Pretty cool. You know what's a great gift that local municipalities give? It's called tax credits. There's actually places, depending on where you live in cities and counties, where they've outlined where they want money brought into the community, where you can actually get tax benefits by buying real estate in specific areas or opening businesses in those areas as well. So be creative. Go find those hidden gem programs. Talk to the manager at the city. Talk to the people at the county and find ways where you can invest and it save you money in the long run. My favorite real estate investment strategy is called the BRRRR method. Now, we can debate how many R's there should be, but it's really simple. You buy a piece of property, you renovate it, and you rent it, and then of course you refinance it to pull out your capital so that you can do it all again. Now, you've heard me talk about using commercial loans in the past in order to accelerate the speed to lead that you can do this with, which is my favorite way of doing it. You see, with commercial loans, you can reappraise the property immediately once it's rehabbed so that you can get that higher valuation. With a traditional residential investment loan, you've got to wait 6 months or you're just going to be able to use the original sales price that you bought the property for. So I have people come to me all the time. They're like, Jeff, I want to buy rental properties. What do I do? Well, the first thing I do is I ask them if they have a credit line or a HELOC on their current home, because frankly, so many people have a lot of equity in their primary residence that's just sitting there not doing much for them. So it's possible to get a HELOC, go pay cash for a small rental property, renovate the property, put a loan on it, pull all of that capital back out, pay down that HELOC, and do it again. There's no reason why you can't do that 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6 times in a year if you're really fast, and build a rental portfolio very quickly. If you like the premise of the tax strategies we've discussed today, remember, this is not tax advice, but we will get you with the right professionals. In fact, if you want to talk to my personal CPA and tax attorney, I will connect you so that they can guide you on the path to paying less in taxes and building wealth through real estate investing. If you found value in this video, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and send me a message about other videos you'd like to see, and I'd love to provide you with the value you deserve.